I did not give any thought to the proposal.
I did not give any thought to the proposal.
나는 그 제안에 대해 전혀 고려해보지 않았다.
Give thought to.
무엇에 대해 생각, 고려를 해보다.
I did not give any thought to the proposal. After the incident, he was shunned by neighbors.
After the incident, he was shunned by neighbors.
그 일이 있고 나서 그는 이웃의 기피 대상이 되었다.
Shun.
만남을 기피하다.
After the incident, he was shunned by neighbors. The parents took justice into their own hands.
The parents took justice into their own hands.
그 부모들은 직접 그들의 손으로 벌을 주었다.
Take justice into one's own hands.
법을 통하지 않고 직접 벌을 주다.
The parents took justice into their own hands. China responded in kind, threatening to ban imports.
China responded in kind, threatening to ban imports.
중국은 수입 금지를 위협하며 똑같은 방식으로 대응했다.
In kind.
똑같은 방식으로.
China responded in kind, threatening to ban imports. You can't work well if you are deprived of sleep.
You can't work well if you are deprived of sleep.
수면 결핍 상태인 경우 당신은 일을 잘 할 수 없다.
Deprived of.
무엇이 박탈된.
You can't work well if you are deprived of sleep. He never even ate chicken, let alone beef.
He never even bet to chicken, let alone beef.
그는 쇠고기는 말할 것도 없이 닭고기조차 전혀 먹지 않았다.
Let alone.
무엇은 말할 것도 없이.
He never even ate chicken, let alone beef. It's important to distinguish between fact and belief.
It's important to distinguish between fact and belief.
사실과 믿음을 구분하는 것은 중요하다.
Distinguish between A and B.
A와 B를 구분하다.
It's important to distinguish between fact and belief. With new evidence, the theory became discredited.
With new evidence, the theory became discredited.
새로운 증거로 인해서 그 이론은 신뢰성을 잃었다.
Discredited.
신뢰, 평판을 잃은.
With new evidence, the theory became discredited. It has repeatedly been suggested in various guises.
It has repeatedly been suggested in various guises.
그것은 여러 모습으로 가장하여 반복적으로 제안되었다.
In various guises.
여러 모습으로 가장하여.
It has repeatedly been suggested in various guises. It's difficult to disentangle the problematic factors.
It's difficult to disentangle the problematic factors.
문제 있는 요인들을 해결하는 것은 어려운 일이다.
Disentangle.
얽혀 있는 것을 풀어내다.
It's difficult to disentangle the problematic factors. Asians are more liable to be discriminated against.
Asians are more liable to be discriminated against.
아시아인들이 차별을 당할 가능성이 더 많다.
Liable to.
어떠할 가능성이 많은?
Asians are more liable to be discriminated against. The friends have a lot in common with one another.
The friends have a lot in common with one another.
그 친구들은 많은 공통점을 가지고 있다.
Have in common.
무엇을 공통점으로 가지다.
The friends have a lot in common with one another. The use of an ancient flute characterizes his music.
The use of ancient flute characterizes his music.
고대의 플룻을 사용하는 것이 그의 음악의 특징이다.
Characterize.
특징 짓다.
The use of an ancient flute characterizes his music. Some are tagged with a criminal label at an early age.
Some are tagged with a criminal label at an early age.
어떤 이들은 이른 나이에 범죄자의 꼬리표가 붙는다.
Tagged with.
무엇에 꼬리표가 붙다.
Some are tagged with a criminal label at an early age. He associated with many well-known scientists.
He associated with many well-known scientists.
그는 많은 잘 알려진 과학자들과 어울렸다.
Associate with.
누구와 어울리다.
He associated with many well-known scientists. He relapsed into further criminal behavior.
He relapsed into further criminal behavior.
그는 다시 더욱 범죄로 빠져들었다.
Relapse into.
좋아졌다가 다시 예전의 어떤 상태로 돌아가다.
He relapsed into further criminal behavior. Longevity is attributed to a strict regimen.
Longevity is attributed to a strict regimen.
장수는 엄격한 섭생의 결과라고 여겨진다.
Attribute A to B.
A의 원인을 B로 돌리다.
Longevity is attributed to a strict regimen. This report is well-founded.
This report is well-founded.
이 보고서는 근거가 충분하다.
Well-founded.
근거가 충분한.
This report is well-founded. Several factors predispose you to develop lung cancer.
Several factors predispose you to develop lung cancer.
몇 가지 요인이 당신이 폐암에 걸릴 가능성을 높인다.
Predispose.
어떠한 상태가 될 가능성을 높이다.
Several factors predispose you to develop lung cancer. This type of boy is more prone to quitting school.
This type of boy is more prone to quitting school.
이러한 유형의 소년들은 학교를 그만둘 가능성이 좀 더 많다.
Prone to.
어떻게 될 가능성이 많은?
This type of boy is more prone to quitting school. A slight mistake could precipitate a defeat.
A slight mistake could precipitate a defeat.
조그마한 실수도 패배를 재촉할 수 있었다.
Precipitate.
재촉하다.
A slight mistake could precipitate a defeat. He came to terms with the fact that he was dumped.
He came to terms with the fact that he was dumped.
그는 버림받았다는 것을 받아들이게 되었다.
Come to terms with.
힘든 무엇을 받아들이게 되다.
He came to terms with the fact that he was dumped. This report approximated to what actually happened.
This report approximated to what actually happened.
이 보고서는 실제로 발생한 일에 가깝게 작성되었다.
Approximate to.
무엇과 가깝다, 근사하다.
This report approximated to what actually happened. He has cultivated a hobby to fight depression.
He has cultivated a hobby to fight depression.
그는 우울증과 싸우기 위해 취미를 개발했다.
Cultivate.
개발하다. 함양하다.
He has cultivated a hobby to fight depression. His colleagues ostracized him after he criticized them.
His colleagues ostracized him after he criticized them.
그가 동료들을 비판한 후에 동료들은 그를 따돌렸다.
Ostracize.
따돌리다.
His colleagues ostracized him after he criticized them. He was offered a bribe to favor a particular policy.
He was offered a bribe to favor a particular policy.
그는 특정한 정책을 지원토록 뇌물을 제공받았다.
Favor.
선호하다. 지원하다. 특별 대우하다.
He was offered a bribe to favor a particular policy. Some of them knowingly committed the offenses.
Some of them knowingly committed the offenses.
그들 중 일부는 고의로 규정을 위반했다.
Knowingly.
알고서도 고의로.
Some of them knowingly committed the offenses. Corruption is pervasive throughout the country.
Corruption is pervasive throughout the country.
온 나라에 걸쳐 부패가 만연해 있다.
Pervasive.
곳곳에 퍼져 있는.
Corruption is pervasive throughout the country. I want to invest my money for the long haul.
I want to invest my money for the long haul.
나는 장기적으로 꾸준히 투자를 하고 싶다.
For the long haul.
장기적으로 꾸준히.
I want to invest my money for the long haul. Someday I'll pay you back for this.
Someday I'll pay you back for this.
언젠가 이것을 되갚아 주겠다.
Pay back.
복수하다. 되갚다.
Someday I'll pay you back for this. We have had a spate of burglaries recently.
We have had a spate of burglaries recently.
최근에 절도가 갑자기 많이 발생하고 있다.
A spate of.
갑작스럽게 대량이.
We have had a spate of burglaries recently. The official figures understate the true scale.
The official figures understate the true scale.
공식적인 수치들은 실제 규모를 축소해서 보여준다.
Understate.
축소해서 말하다.
The official figures understate the true scale. I can't refute the argument.
I can't refute the argument.
나는 그 주장을 논박할 수 없다.
Refute.
논박하다.
I can't refute the argument. Half of all prisoners discharged are reconvicted.
Half of all prisoners discharged are reconvicted.
반 이상의 형무소 출소자가 재범을 저지른다.
Discharge.
출소시키다. 퇴원시키다.
Half of all prisoners discharged are reconvicted. A suspect has been detained by the police.
A suspect has been detained by the police.
용의자가 경찰에 구금되어 있다.
Detain.
구금하다.
A suspect has been detained by the police. It took 8 hours for fire crews to subdue the fire.
It took 8 hours for fire crews to subdue the fire.
소방관들이 불길을 잡는데 8시간이 걸렸다.
Subdue.
제압하다. 통제하다.
It took 8 hours for fire crews to subdue the fire. We're shooting for a 5% annual return on investment.
We're shooting for a 5% annual return on investment.
우리는 연간 5%의 투자 수익을 목표로 삼고 있다.
Shoot for.
목표로 하다.
We're shooting for a 5% annual return on investment. We should stand up for our beliefs.
We should stand up for our beliefs.
우리는 우리의 신념을 지키기 위하여 일어나야 한다.
Stand up for.
무엇을 지키기 위해 일어서다.
We should stand up for our beliefs. The city has been left alone to deal with the problem.
The city has been left alone to deal with the problem.
그 도시는 홀로 그 문제에 대처해야 했다.
Left alone.
홀로 남겨지다.
The city has been left alone to deal with the problem. This company allows managers greater leeway.
This company allows managers greater leeway.
이 회사는 관리자들에게 더욱 큰 재량권을 허락한다.
Leeway.
재량권, 여지.
This company allows managers greater leeway. I never do anything half-heartedly.
I never do anything half-heartedly.
나는 무엇이든지 건성으로 하지 않는다.
half-heartedly.
노력 없이 건성으로 하다.
I never do anything half-heartedly. My teachers drilled that into me in school.
My teachers drilled that into me in school.
선생님들은 학교에서 그것을 귀가 닳도록 내게 이야기하셨다.
Drill A into B.
A를 B에게 되풀이해서 주지시키다.
My teachers drilled that into me in school. She ascribed the failing economy to high taxes.
She ascribed the failing economy to high taxes.
그녀는 경제 실패의 원인을 높은 세금으로 돌렸다.
Ascribe A to B.
A의 원인을 B로 돌리다.
She ascribed the failing economy to high taxes. It's tempting to blame immigrants for a surge in crime.
It's tempting to blame immigrants for a surge in crime.
범죄의 급증에 대해 이민자들을 탓하고 싶어진다.
Tempting to.
어떻게 하고 싶다.
It's tempting to blame immigrants for a surge in crime. I want to draw your attention to the following points.
I want to draw your attention to the following points.
나는 다음의 사항들에 대해 당신이 주목하게 하려 합니다.
Draw attention to.
무엇에 대해 주목을 끌게 하다.
I want to draw your attention to the following points. His overriding concern is to counter corruption.
His overriding concern is to counter corruption.
그의 최우선 관심사는 부패와 싸우는 것이다.
Overriding.
최우선의, 무엇보다 중요한.
His overriding concern is to counter corruption. The region has been plagued with famine.
The region has been plagued with famine.
그 지역은 기아로 시달림을 받아왔다.
Plagued with.
무엇으로 괴롭힘, 시달림을 받다.
The region has been plagued with famine. It is the best way to foster innovation.
It is the best way to foster innovation.
그것은 혁신을 육성하는 가장 좋은 방안이다.
Foster.
육성, 증진하다.
It is the best way to foster innovation. This belief is deeply ingrained in our culture.
This belief is deeply ingrained in our culture.
이 신념은 우리 문화에 깊이 뿌리박혀 있다.
Ingrained.
깊이 배어 있는.
This belief is deeply ingrained in our culture. Ancient agriculture was at the mercy of the weather.
Ancient agriculture was at the mercy of the weather.
고대의 농업은 날씨에 좌우되었다.
At the mercy of.
무엇에 좌우되다.
Ancient agriculture was at the mercy of the weather. We should make allowance for his lack of skill.
We should make allowance for his lack of skill.
우리는 그의 기술 부족을 감안해야 한다.
Make allowance for.
무엇을 감안하다, 참작하다.
We should make allowance for his lack of skill. His advice counts more than money.
His advice counts more than money.
그의 조언은 돈보다도 중요하다.
Count.
중요하다.
His advice counts more than money. Most of such events have been institutionalized.
Most of such events have been institutionalized.
대부분의 그러한 행사들이 제도화되었다.
Institutionalize.
제도화하다.
Most of such events have been institutionalized. This theory held sway during the 1970s.
This theory held sway during the 1970s.
이 이론은 1970년대에 강한 영향력을 가졌다.
Hold sway.
힘있다. 강한 영향력을 가지다.
This theory held sway during the 1970s. They defied the government's decision to raise tax.
They defied the government's decision to raise tax.
그들은 정부의 증세 결정을 거부했다.
Defy.
거부하다.
They defied the government's decision to raise tax. You should live off your savings after retirement.
You should live off your savings after retirement.
당신은 은퇴 이후엔 저축해놓은 돈으로 살아야 한다.
Live off.
무엇에 기대어 살다.
You should live off your savings after retirement. The man in question is my friend.
The man in question is my friend.
이야기되고 있는 그 사람은 내 친구이다.
In question.
이야기되고 있는
The man in question is my friend. My information about him is patchy.
My information about him is patchy.
그에 대한 나의 정보는 부분적이다.
Patchy.
띄엄띄엄 분포된, 불규칙한.
My information about him is patchy. The civilians were displaced by the war.
The civilians were displaced by the war.
민간인들은 전쟁에 의해 살고 있던 곳에서 쫓겨났다.
Displaced.
사는 곳에서 쫓겨나다.
The civilians were displaced by the war. Old men are not admitted to the nightclub.
Old men are not admitted to the nightclub.
나이든 남자는 그 나이트 클럽에 입장이 허락되지 않는다.
Admit.
입장, 가입을 허락하다.
Old men are not admitted to the nightclub. I study math for its own sake.
I study math for its own sake.
나는 수학을 수학 그 자체를 목적으로 공부한다.
For its own sake.
무엇 자체를 목적으로.
I study math for its own sake. I will opt for a career in the financial market.
I will opt for a career in the financial market.
나는 금융시장에서 나의 직업을 선택하겠다.
Opt for.
선택지 중 무엇 하나를 선택하다.
I will opt for a career in the financial market. You cannot find recognition without self-promotion.
You cannot find recognition without self-promotion.
당신은 자기 홍보 없이는 인정을 받을 수 없다.
Find recognition.
인정받다.
You cannot find recognition without self-promotion. Do not impose your views on others.
Do not impose your views on others.
당신의 생각을 남에게 강요하지 마라.
Impose A on B.
B에 A를 강요하다.
Do not impose your views on others. Don't live up to your parents' expectations.
Don't live up to your parents' expectations.
부모의 기대에 따라 살아가지 말아라.
Live up to.
무엇에 따라 부응하며 살다.
Don't live up to your parents' expectations. Poor people bear the brunt of economic crises.
Poor people bear the brunt of economic crises.
가난한 사람들이 경제 위기에 가장 타격을 받는다.
Bear the brunt of.
가장 타격을 받다.
Poor people bear the brunt of economic crises. I owe my success to my wife's support.
I owe my success to my wife's support.
나의 성공은 내 아내의 지원 덕분이다.
Owe A to B.
A는 B 덕분이다.
I owe my success to my wife's support. Hardship serves to forge an unyielding attitude.
Hardship serves to forge an unyielding attitude.
역경은 굽히지 않은 태도를 구축하는 데 도움을 준다.
Serve to.
도움을 주다.
Hardship serves to forge an unyielding attitude. He was supposed to take a plane this morning.
He was supposed to take a plane this morning.
그는 오늘 아침에 비행기를 탈 예정이었다.
Supposed to.
무엇을 할 계획, 예정이다.
He was supposed to take a plane this morning. She is very keen to exercise early morning.
She is very keen to exercise early morning.
그녀는 아침 일찍 운동하기를 매우 원한다.
Keen to.
매우 무엇을 하기를 원하는, 관심 있는.
She is very keen to exercise early morning. His remarks paralleled those of the president.
His remarks paralleled those of the president.
그의 말은 대통령의 말과 같았다.
Parallel.
무엇과 비슷하다. 같다.
His remarks paralleled those of the president. She has attracted a lot of attention in the community.
She has attracted a lot of attention in the community.
그녀는 그 집단에서 많은 관심을 끌었다.
Attract attention.
관심을 끌다.
She has attracted a lot of attention in the community. His presence will add weight to the conference.
His presence will add weight to the conference.
그의 참석은 회의에 무게를 더해줄 것이다.
Add weight to.
무게를 더하다. 힘을 실어주다.
His presence will add weight to the conference. She made some outrageous fraud allegations.
She made some outrageous fraud allegations.
그녀는 몇 가지 터무니없는 사기 의혹을 제기하였다.
Make an allegation.
혐의, 의혹을 제기하다.
She made some outrageous fraud allegations. I reserve Sundays for tidying my room.
I reserve Sundays for tidying my room.
나는 일요일을 나의 방을 정리하는 날로 지정하여 놓았다.
Reserve A for B.
A를 B 목적으로 지정해두다.
I reserve Sundays for tidying my room. It raises the possibility that he has been involved.
It raises the possibility that he has been involved.
그가 연루되었을 가능성을 높인다.
Raise the possibility.
가능성을 높이다.
It raises the possibility that he has been involved. It is alleged that the police beat them.
It is alleged that the police beat them.
경찰이 그들을 구타했다고 주장된다.
Alleged.
무엇일 것이라고 주장되다.
It is alleged that the police beat them. He ended up working as a high school teacher.
He ended up working as a high school teacher.
그는 결국에는 고등학교 교사가 되었다.
End up.
결국 무엇하게 되다.
He ended up working as a high school teacher. Offering scholarships is at the discretion of the college.
Offering scholarships is at the discretion of the college.
장학금은 대학의 재량으로 제공된다.
At the discretion of.
무엇의 재량으로, 결정권으로.
Offering scholarships is at the discretion of the college. Employees can buy meals on account and pay later.
Employees can buy meals on account and pay later.
직원들은 식사를 외상으로 사 먹고 나중에 지불할 수 있다.
On account.
외상으로.
Employees can buy meals on account and pay later. The divorce rate now seems to level off.
The divorce rate now seems to level off.
이혼율이 현재 일정하게 유지되고 있는 것으로 보인다.
Level off.
증감 없이 평탄하다다.
The divorce rate now seems to level off. Housewives have been relieved of domestic duties.
Housewives have been relieved of domestic duties.
주부들의 가사일이 경감되었다.
Relieved of.
무엇이 경감되다, 면제되다.
Housewives have been relieved of domestic duties. Other countries are preparing to follow suit.
Other countries are preparing to follow suit.
다른 나라들도 따라하려고 준비 중이다.
Follow suit.
따라하다.
Other counties are preparing to follow suit. The new regulation will come into effect next month.
The new regulation will come into effect next month.
새로운 규정이 다음 달부터 발효되게 된다.
Come into effect.
효력을 가지다. 발효되다.
The new regulation will come into effect next month. Second marriages are doomed to fail.
Second marriages are doomed to fail.
두 번째 결혼은 실패하게 되어 있다.
Doomed to.
나쁘게 어떻게 될 운명이다.
Second marriages are doomed to fail. The theory is deeply flawed.
The theory is deeply flawed.
그 이론은 깊은 결함이 있다.
Flawed.
결함이 있는.
The theory is deeply flawed. The environment takes priority over the economy.
The environment takes priority over the economy.
경제보다 환경이 우선이다.
Take priority over.
무엇보다 우선순위가 높다.
The environment takes priority over the economy. High level of education accounts for Korea's success.
High level of education accounts for Korea's success.
높은 교육 수준이 한국의 성공을 설명한다.
Account for.
무엇의 이유를 설명하다.
High level of education accounts for Korea's success. We pooled ideas and information.
We pooled ideas and information.
우리는 아이디어와 정보들을 함께 모았다.
Pool.
함께 모으다.
We pooled ideas and information. Marriage has ceased to be the condition of happiness.
Marriage has ceased to be the condition of happiness.
결혼이 더 이상 행복이 조건이 되지 않는다.
Cease to be.
무엇이기를 중지하다. 그치다.
Marriage has ceased to be the condition of happiness. It took me a long time to get over the shock.
It took me a long time to get over the shock.
내가 그 충격에서 회복되기까지 오랜 시간이 걸렸다.
Get over.
무엇에서 회복하다.
It took me a long time to get over the shock. Just keep your composure and smile.
Just keep your composure and smile.
그저 평정심을 유지하고 미소를 지어라.
Keep composure.
평정심을 유지하다.
Just keep your composure and smile. There is a supposedly good restaurant in the corner.
There is a supposedly good restaurant in the corner.
길모퉁이에 좋다고들 하는 식당이 있다.
supposedly.
남들이 어떠하다고 하는.
There is a supposedly good restaurant in the corner. He had the fortitude to throw it away.
He had the fortitude to throw it away.
그는 꿋꿋하게 그것을 내팽겨쳐 버렸다.
Fortitude.
꿋꿋함.
He had the fortitude to throw it away. It's no wonder you are mad.
It's no wonder you are mad.
내가 화난 것도 놀랍지 않다.
No wonder.
놀랍지 않다.
It's no wonder you are mad. I had mistaken friendship for love.
I had mistaken friendship for love.
나는 우정을 사랑으로 오해했었다.
Mistake A for B.
A를 B로 혼동하다.
I had mistaken friendship for love. I couldn't agree more.
I couldn't agree more.
나는 전적으로 동의한다.
Couldn't agree more.
전적으로 동의하다.
I couldn't agree more. The treaty does not safeguard the country's interests.
The treaty does not safeguard the country's interests.
그 조약은 그 나라의 이익을 보호하지 않는다.
Safeguard.
보호하다. 지키다.
The treaty does not safeguard the country's interests. It is in line with the prevailing trend.
It is in line with the prevailing trend.
그것은 지배적인 경향과 궤를 같이 한다.
In line with.
무엇과 궤를 같이 하다.
It is in line with the prevailing trend. We can all learn to embrace change.
We can all learn to embrace change.
우리는 모두 변화를 받아들이는 법을 배울 수 있다.
Embrace.
무엇을 기꺼이 받아들이다. 수용하다.
We can all learn to embrace change.